Texas. Ms. Eddie Bernice Johnson, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And let me thank the witnesses for being here and express my appreciation for the work that the Corps does do, and I know that the work is getting further and further behind. There was a recent U.S. Department of Treasury Commission study found, and I quote, "A lack of public funding is by far the most common factor hindering the completion of transportation and water infrastructure projects, affecting 39 of the 40 projects reviewed." In the beginning of 2017, the Harbor Maintenance Fund had an excess balance of more than $9 billion. I really have a question as to why you have that much money with such massive backlog of water projects. Could you give me some explanation as to why that is?
Yes, Congresswoman. Let me give you a start. The 18 President's budget allowed a distribution from Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund for the Corps of $965 million, which is the highest distribution that we've ever had in history. As you know, the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund is a revolving fund. It's managed by the Department of the Treasury, and the administration allows us to use those funds to address the maintenance requirements in our harbors across the nation. In FY17, just some statistics, we had the receipts that went into the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund of $1.47 billion were the funds that came in based upon the taxes that were assessed. We had an end-of-the-year balance in FY17 of $9.1 billion. So we do have a significant balance that remains. I think the industry has been very emphatic that we use all the money that's collected. I think from the Corps' perspective, we have requirements to be met, but they're very difficult parameters that the administration uses to allow the use of Harbor Maintenance Trust Funds, and I don't have all the answers for why that is, and I can't really address why, what our strategy is to bring that backlog down.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone else with any comment on that?
No, no, ma'am. What we'll do is provide a explanation back to you with the details of what you're asking for, but don't have complete answer to your question right now.
Okay, thank you. And we've heard a lot about streamlining the federal processes and tapping into new and creative funding streams as a means of funding public infrastructure projects. I heard the comments about the public-private partnerships. How realistic does that seem to you in this area of these type of projects?
Congresswoman, I'm optimistic. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to take advantage of different funding sources. I mean, it's a math problem. The bottom line is there's more requirements out there in infrastructure than the federal budget can support today. So we've got to look at other sources, state, local, private investments. But there are a lot of things that we have to do to incentivize folks to want to do that. And the Corps of Engineers, we have a role in that. And I think one of the things that we're looking at is trying to streamline the way we can deliver projects, streamline the way we can partner with others. And then we're working with the administration and the Congress to develop, the incentives piece that allow this to be a good business proposition. Because at the end of the day, the projects that the nation requires need to be paid for. They need to be delivered. They don't need to be on the books for decades. They're not doing anybody any good. And we just can't do that with the federal budget today. There are just too many demands on it. So we have to look outside the federal appropriation.
Do you have a quick example of what you can share where you think it would work?
Well, I think there are opportunities for specific projects around the country where we have sponsors that.
Could you just name one? I mean, I want be as specific as you can.
Well, I'll take the Charleston Harbor, for instance. Charleston Harbor has already, or Jacksonville Harbor, two harbors on the East Coast who have stepped up and recognized that the federal appropriation is not going to get their projects delivered as fast as they would like, and so they have entered into advanced funds agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers to put forth funding to accelerate the completion of their project. Under the advanced funds agreement, they're eligible for reimbursement, so the administration will work to do that. That's the commitment that administration makes. But that's an example of an alternative funding arrangement that's been executed, that today is in the works, and 2 projects will get done as a result.
Thank you. My time's up.
Could I